All right, Chad, how we doing tonight? How are we all doing? We had some dancing crab music. Hope you all enjoyed. That is, of course, because Donald Rumsfeld is enjoying his first full day in hell today. So, you know, can we get some S's in the chat to spit on his graves, on his on his grave? Maybe some P's to piss on it. Fuck Donald Rumsfeld, and fuck anybody who was like, yeah, he's a rummy. He was. See, I fucking remember. By the way, a lot of people. See, now it's cool to hate him. So you got a lot of these fucking trad right and authoritarian right guys. Now they fucking hate him. But motherfuckers, I remember the Bush years. All right. I remember the sickening displays, particularly from evangelicals, but Christians in general, during the Bush years, of just fucking warmongering horse shit. And I remember what a fucking monster Donald Rumsfeld was. And the only thing sad about his death is that he died, I think, probably in like a warm bed in his house, surrounded by family, instead of, hanging by a noose after a war crimes trial. That's the only thing sad about his death. Fuck Donald Rumsfeld. I can't wait till George W. Bush dies. I hope that happens tomorrow, and I hope it's painful. Fuck him. Fuck that entire neocon wing of quote unquote conservatism. Fuck them all to death. And we're gonna touch on a little bit more on the military worship side of shit here in a minute. But first, some happier news. Something I came across that I just thought was infinitely cool. There's an artist out there, Freddie Williams III, comic book artist. He did 3 out of the 4 Batman TMNT crossovers. He didn't do the Batman Adventures one, Batman TMNT Adventures, but he did the main 3. He also did like the He-Man Thundercats crossover. He's done a lot of work, but he jokingly calls himself the crossover artist because those are probably his most successful ones. Well, he was supposed to do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles He-Man crossover, which he just the other day put out some of the art that he had done for it before it got canceled. Damn shame it got canceled. Look at how fucking cool that looks. You can see it up on screen. Obviously, it's just the pencil work, but you got the 4 turtles and then there's He-Man. That would have been fucking cool as shit. That would have been especially cool to me, personally, because those are like the first 2 things I was ever really into as a small kid. Like as a really, really fucking little kid. Like preschool age little fucking kid. I was into He-Man, and then I discovered the Ninja Turtles, and that was the thing I had moved on to. But those were the first 2 things that I latched my obsessive fucking young autism onto. So seeing them together would have been nice. He also published another bit of art. Here we can see Leo apparently has the He-Man Sword of Power, which is split into 2. I kind of like that, like that it would split into 2 for him because he's used to wielding the 2 katanas. I like the idea of like a magic weapon that sort of shapes itself to its user. I've always kind of found that like a fascinating concept. I don't know if you ever heard that Matt Wagner did a comic book called Mage years ago, creator-owned comic. I never really checked it out myself, but I was always kind of interested in the premise. It was like some guy in the modern times somehow gets his hand on Excalibur, and instead of being a sword, it takes the form of a baseball bat, I guess, because this guy was into baseball or something. So and that just sounds like an interesting premise to me. I don't know. The comic itself, I've heard that it's very much a self-insert kind of Mary Sue bullshit. I've heard a lot of bad things about it, but the premise always kind of interested me. It's one of those ones where it's like I've sort of always wanted to dive into it, at least give it a shot, but just kind of never got around to it. But like I said, just like that brand. And a TMNT crossover with He-Man would have been the shit. Especially with him doing the art. But we didn't get it. Who knows, though? Maybe we will. DC recently lost the comic book rights He-Man, I guess. All the shit for He-Man is from Dark Horse now. So who knows? Um, Maybe Dark Horse. I don't know who put the kibosh on it. It got delayed a bunch of times and then got canceled. I don't know why. Maybe it was something on IDW's end. They're the ones that have the Ninja Turtle rights, or maybe the parent companies that own it. Fucking Nickelodeon owns TMNT. It's rare when they give a shit about like comic book stuff, like the crossovers and goofy shit. They just rubber stamp that shit usually, but every once in a while they're just like, no, we're not doing that for no reason. Um, in fact, supposedly back in the day, back when Tomb Raider was new and they first started doing Tomb Raider comics, they were going to do like a Tomb Raider Indiana Jones crossover where like they're both in some temple of a time god and that's how they meet, even though, the 40s in the present day kind of thing, whatever. But supposedly, I guess LucasArts or whatever, the company that owned Indiana Jones back in the day was just like, no, fuck Tomb Raider. Ah, Duke Tumwater says, thoughts on Kevin Smith doing a new He-Man series? I've heard some things from Kevin in interviews. Actually, I haven't even heard him directly. I've heard other people bitching about things he supposedly said in interviews that were made it sound like it's going to be paused. That said, though, I watched the trailer, and the trailer was fucking bitching. So you better believe when it comes out on Netflix, I'm going to at least give it a shot. You know what He-Man cartoon is genuinely good, and it kind of got unfairly axed too early, was the '02 cartoon. They did a reboot of it back in 2002. It was airing on Cartoon Network. And they actually axed it not because it had bad ratings. It actually had really good ratings. It was one of Cartoon Network's best rated shows. But the executives were still in that mindset where this exists just to sell toys. And they didn't realize at that point a lot of people had grown up with it. So there were college age kids. I wasn't in college, but I was college age. There were college age kids that were watching this. There were kids, adults. You know, as and it wasn't really aimed at small kids. It very much had a PG-ish kind of vibe to it. So it did really well ratings wise. It would have, but for some reason they were still in the mindset. No, it has to sell toys, and even the toys were selling okay. They just weren't selling like they sold back in the fucking '80s. But whatever. It was a great cartoon, but it got unfairly axed. All right. So let's take a look at some stuff, shall we? We get back to that military warship we were talking about. Let's talk about Quintus Curtius. Here we were looking at the crab rave. But Quintus Curtius tweeted something. Well, no, he retweeted something from some other asshole. So let's take a look at it, shall we? Let's learn how to be a fucking trad alpha sigma who has lots of sexual coitus. I'm sorry, sexual congress. And wrote 9 books. Don't forget he wrote 9 books. So the last pirate on Twitter, don't know who that is, don't really care. Getting annoyed with this whole angle of don't join the military because it's woke and you will be a victim of Lockheed Martin wars. As if prior wars were in the common man's real interest. When they shipped off to Troy, you think they really gave a shit about Melena's wife's problems? Melena's wife problems? Melena's wife problem? Whatever. Now, here's my question, chat, and maybe some of you can help me out with this, because I'm genuinely perplexed. Hang on a second. Drink a little water. I'm trying to drink some water instead of soda right now. I'm trying to cut the soda back out. Slid a little on that. I'm back into the soda. Trying to get back off the soda. It's bad for you. So maybe maybe you can all help me here, because like I said, I'm truly confused. I assume, obviously Quintus is, and I assume this other, the last butt pirate here, I assume he is also extremely pro military. But what about this? Like, let's say you were a young man and you were like, you know what? I don't want to join the military because I don't want to go die for Lockheed Martin and for Israel. What about this would change your mind? Because he basically just said, he didn't say, like, no, you should join. It's a good cause or what. No, he basically said, um, well, no, don't worry about the fact that none of these wars are in the common man's interest. Most wars are never in the man's interest. Join the military anyways. I'm I'm genuinely confused how that's meant to persuade me to join the military. Like somebody thousands of years ago died because of petty bullshit um, from his incompetent and corrupt leaders. So I should die for petty bullshit because of my why? And of course, QC over here. This needs to be said. Yeah, the trads fantasizing about Greek men again. Well, yes, there's that angle to it. But no, this is sort of like, remember when we watched the
Have you heard of Jesus?
the PragerU um video on why you should get married, and everything about it, like if you were on the fence, would make you want to get married even less. Real quick, Duke of Tumwater donates $1, and thank you very much for that. I particularly need I need them shekels tonight. I really do. I really do. Um, who makes you the most angry? E. Michael Jones, Owen Benjamin, or Movie Bob? I mean, Movie Bob. Movie Bob doesn't really. Movie Bob's more an object of pity than anything else. He's so contemptible and evil. He's actually not even dangerous anymore. Owen Benjamin is much more dangerous. E. Michael Jones probably makes me the angriest of the three because he's probably the most harmful of the three. Because he wraps himself in Christ, in the Logos. I don't even think Owen even pretends to be Christian at this point anymore. Somebody said we know should is dreaming as your alt account. Oh, that one again. No, I am on Twitter. I mean, you're not seeing it now, but I am on Twitter through the pen name, which you guys don't know, and I'm genuinely surprised not one of you fucking autists figured it out. But I understand nobody actually gives much of a fuck about me. But no, I would say E. Michael Jones pisses me off the most of the three. But anyways, getting back to this, how would this make you want to join the military? He just admitted it's all bullshit. Join anyways. Now it gets even better when we click on this guy's thing, and then we scroll through some of the responses. Here's his own response. One of the great gayification, self-inflicted military crimes was shutting down coming home with war prizes. You had troops trying to smuggle back enemies' weapons, banners, etc. Let the lads bask in a little glory with a nice prize, you fake choir boy bureaucrats. What is it with the far right and just trying to sound evil? Like, what is that? Like, there's a reason we tell our troops, we're very adamant, no, you can't fucking take war prizes, okay? Because our military at least pretends to be the good guys. Now we're not, and we haven't been basically ever. Our entire history of foreign intervention has been fucking disastrous. But at least it had the facade of being well intentioned. At least that was a lie we were telling ourselves. But no, our military should just rape and pillage. Fuck it. We should just encourage that. But that's actually evil. That's actually an evil thing. There's that subset of the right that's just, the alt right, the alternative right, that's just obsessed with power, and it's usually because they themselves are, have none of it in any sense of the word. Might makes right and all this other shit. It's just evil fucking shit. In many ways, the fucking war worship is itself evil fucking shit. Ah, bunch of bullshit replies. We're not gonna go through all that, but I just, holy fuck. What is wrong with these people? What the actual fuck is wrong with these people? What the actual fuck is wrong with the right? As somebody, you know what? I'm not in the right. Let's just, well, fine. We'll just say it. I'm not left either, whatever you want to call me at this point. But I'm not in the right, and that's because they're just reprehensible motherfuckers. Even the fucking Christians, even the quote unquote Christians. Somebody says I thought the alt right were anti-war. I mean, like the Wignats usually are, because we're not dying for Israel, but most of the trad fucking types that fancy themselves historians are like, war's awesome. So he says, let's start a third option where we sit in our houses and flip everyone off. That's basically where I'm at. I mean, again, we talked about Donald Rumsfeld died earlier, and once again, may he burn in hell. Um, remember, I mean, flashback to the Bush years, when fucking evangelicals, when Christians were on TV talking about how cool torture is. Like, the more I think back to the fucking Bush years, the more I'm like, because again, I was a young man, and I was a young adult, shall we say. I was only recently an adult. I didn't have that much context for it when I really, but as I know a little bit more about the times before me, as I've sat here, as time has marched on, even I can look back at the fucking Bush years, and in some ways, they kind of horrify me more than even the really fucked up current leftist times. Because the really fucked up current leftist times, it's like it's very obvious why it's bad. You know what I mean? You look around and it's like, drag queens dressed like the devil, like dressed like fucking him from Powerpuff Girls, are reading or like reading to children that they're surely not going to molest. It doesn't take a pretty astute person to figure out, okay, well that's fucked up, right? But there was something about the Bush years, this like more insidious, like David Lynch bullshit about it, like you know what it was, and I hate to use a fucking God, God in heaven forgive me. I'm going to use a Harry Potter analogy. I've only seen the movies. I haven't read the books, so maybe this isn't. I don't want to hear it if this isn't how it was in the books. But remember in the movies that fucking Karen that took over the school, right? That conservative bitch that took over the school, that social conservative bitch, and like nobody, like she was probably more evil than Voldemort. She was certainly more harmful. Like, what did the no-nose guy really want other than I don't want muggles in the school? Like, okay, I mean, it's maybe not necessary, but it's not the worst fucking thing in the world. But that candy-coated evil, you know what I mean? That that busybody church lady, church marm evil. That's worse. That really is worse to me. I would just rather it be cards on the table naked evil. So that bushier shit where you go to like a church and it would be this disgusting fucking mega church with the celebrity pastor whose fucking watch and shoes are more than you make in a month. Telling you to put your money in the fucking plate. And then they'd show like a fucking video on screen about like prayer and it'd be like a cross with an American flag on the top and fucking the blue angels would fly over it or something. And it all that shit honestly looked like the parody propaganda in like Starship Troopers and shit, you know? So apparently, Chad informs me that Harry Potter's character name was literally Umbridge. Well, that makes sense. Harry Potter wasn't exactly known for its subtlety. I mean, I use the analogy because it was a good one that came to mind, but it's not very good. They were okay popcorn flicks. I give them that. But like, I mean, what were there like 9 of those fucking movies? I maybe remember like 90 minutes worth out of all of them. Dolores Umbridge was more like Hillary Clinton. Well, yeah, I mean, she did look a lot like Hillary Clinton. So he says too many people on the right benefit from arms sales, and especially the cyber warfare and spying. And rather than make sure we watch where carjackers are escaping to, we watch Gab.com posts. Well, yeah, I mean, but how did we not know that's where all this infrastructure would be? How did we not know? I mean, I say we. I knew, not to suck my own dick, but even at the tender age of like 18, 19, I knew when we were drafting the Patriot Act and leading up to the Iraq War, I knew that was all a bad idea. And it's not because I was a fucking genius, it's just because it was blatantly fucking obvious. So it's just people like E. Michael Jones and Greg Johnson literally believe freedom is slavery. So he says there was remarkably little pushback on the surveillance and security back then. Oh yeah, I mean you had a few libertarians that would speak out against it. I mean, to his credit, like Harry Brown, the one libertarian author from the '90s into the 2000s. I mean, he wrote on WorldNet Daily, which was like the big right wing, site on the internet back then. He wrote like days after 9/11, like this was blowback. We had this coming. Like this is what we get for fucking around where we don't belong. To his credit, I mean, that was, read the room, Harry. That was not the time to bring it up, but he didn't give a fuck. Y'all needed to hear it. But yeah, I knew the Iraq War was a fucking disaster and would destabilize the region, and there was no fucking point to it. There was no reason to it. To this day, no, but ask anyone who was for it, or maybe even is so far gone they're still for it. Ask them why, and they can't tell you. They might give you something about the terrorists or something, some vague bullshit, but there was no fucking reason for it. And interestingly enough, they always gave like a million feeble reasons as they were leading up to it. And when you challenged one, they just moved on to the other. It was like trying to nail Jello to a fucking wall. I don't know, man. It's just this fucking military worship on the part of the right. It's never sat well with me. And I mean, I'm a military brat. I could have easily fallen into that. You know, my dad would spent 24 years in the Navy, and he wanted me to go in the Army after high school. And in all fairness, I was pretty directionless and didn't know what the fuck to do with my life. And in all fairness, I'm fucking 38, still don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. But I mean, better that than go die in Iraq for no fucking reason. You know. Well, a bunch of other people my age were fucking in the sand in Iraq fighting the most pointless war. It in a very very long time. I don't know. Nam was probably at Nam at least had. We were keeping the Soviets from expanding their influence. Nam at least had as bad of an idea as Nam was. It arguably had way more fucking merit to it than the reasons leading up to the Iraq War. So while a bunch of other kids my age, young adults, were fucking in the sand, miserable as fuck for no good fucking reason, in mortal danger, I was fucking my redhead girlfriend and reading comic books. And you know what? I made the right call. You know, I I made the right call. You could say, oh well, what would have happened if I'd have gone in? I spent like I'd have fucking lasted. First of all, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe any of it. I didn't believe in any of it. So how the fuck could I have gotten through it? But assuming I had, what I'd do 4 years, come back and be afraid of fireworks. My my girlfriend moved on to new dick. Ah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I look at that Quintus Curtius tweet. The retweet of I don't know the last blood pirate that he retweeted, and I just like I said, I'm like, is this supposed to convince somebody to join the military? Because I would think it would do the opposite. In some ways, I don't understand these people. I don't understand what drives you to be such a fucking bootlegger. Like what makes you after 2020, after a year in which police were arresting people for wanting to get their haircuts or go to church on Easter. After that year, what in God's name could possibly possess you to still have a thin blue line sticker on your truck? What could possess you from a position of the quote unquote right now to tell kids, to tell 18-year-old boy to go join the military? If I had an 18-year-old son right now and he was like, fuck you, Dad, and your libertarian ways, I'm a conservative and I'm going to go join the military and fight for Israel or whatever dumb shit. If he was literally like, I'm going to go join the army and you can't stop me, I'd be like, oh, I think I can. And I'd shoot him in the fucking kneecap. See if they want you now, son. Let's go get you to the hospital and fixed up, and then we'll find you a job. Fuck that. You're not going. Fuck you. That's retarded. I'm not letting you do it. Fucking hit you in the kneecap with a tire iron. Maybe I'll just pull out. I'd probably just a 22. I mean, I'm not, I'm just trying to do just enough, man. Shoot you in the fucking foot. Like, you ain't going nowhere. The fuck are you thinking? You go find a job and a girlfriend and live your life. You go die for fucking Israel. What the hell is their problem? And these are people who are like, no, go join the military because of like what, vague notions of honor or something, or Somebody says use a tire iron so he doesn't die of blood loss. Oh, come on, we'll get you to the hospital. I mean, I'm not gonna. Obviously, I'm not gonna do it if I don't have bandages around and able to get you to the hospital on time. I mean, we're gonna, I'm gonna plan it out. Obviously, even I don't have my gun on me all the time, so it's not gonna be like a spur of the moment thing. But yeah, you ain't going. I'm gonna fucking shoot you myself. You ain't going. And that's before you even consider how woke the military is. That nowadays you get dishonestly discharged because you used the wrong pronoun or you voted for Trump. Like, uh, somebody in the chat asked if I played Cuckold Simulator. I have not, no. I can't say that I have. Yeah, but imagine telling your son right now, like, oh yeah, go join him. Imagine telling a young man right now that you actually gave a fuck about. Yeah, go join the military. That's a great idea. Yeah, I remember my dad back when I was young man, they'll teach you to fold your socks. What the fuck does that mean? Who the fuck cares? I'll go bleeding out in the desert for some Jordan Peterson horse shit. Like, who the fuck? Who gives a fuck? They're socks. How about I just go get a job and live my life? Go fuck my girlfriend. How about I just go to the comic book? It's Wednesday, so how about instead of joining the military, Dad, I just go to the comic book store and I'll take my girlfriend to Applebee's for 2 for $20. How about I just do that instead? You know. But again, and I mean, I love my dad, but that's just the boomer in him. You know what I mean? Learn to fold your socks. Uh, who? What? That's worth getting killed for. Uh, like I said, I don't understand that mentality. I just don't. There's just a lot of things about the right I will never get. You know, another good example. I'm gonna pick on Arjun a little bit, and I like Arjun. I've had him on the channel obviously many times. I've been on his. I like the guy. And he can come on here and tell me how I'm wrong and I'm degenerate and all this other shit. But like I remember arguing with him once, or not even arguing. We were talking, and he sent me like a meme or something where it's like one of these incels was going around and like doxing OnlyFans girls, right? Like finding out who their parents were and then sending their parents like their OnlyFans shit, which is pretty fucked up. Okay, now don't get me wrong. Like, look, you don't put your butthole all over OnlyFans if you don't want the people in your life to figure it out. There's a good chance they'll figure it out. Okay, I'm not excusing the responsibility there, but I am saying like there's some okay. So let me put myself in the mindset of this little incel trad here, and you know it's an incel. Don't even. I know that's almost like a feminist talking point, but it's true. Let's be fucking real. You know, this little trad that's never kissed a girl. And it's totally because he's a moral, upstanding person and not because he can't get fucking. Not because he can't fucking talk to girls. So he's mad at all these thoughts. And he goes on fucking OnlyFans. And he finds this girl that's showing pictures of her pussy in her butthole. And he's like, I'll show her. I'll find out who she is. And I'll show these pictures to her father. Why the fuck? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's kind of funny. I will grant you it's kind of funny. But it's also like fucked up. You know what I mean? Like this poor fucking guy now seeing his daughter's fucking asshole. You know, seeing his daughter fucking slobbing on some guy's knob or whatever the fuck was on her OnlyFans. That's fucking horrifying to him. You know, and now she's fucking ostracized for her family. So you've done all this fucking damage to all these people who ain't done fuck all to you. And I'm just kind of like, that's fucked up, man. I mean, it is kind of funny. Again, it is kind of funny. I'm not going to say it's not. I'm not made of stone. It is kind of funny. But it's also fucked up, right? And I'm like, man, it's fucked up. And Arjun's like, no, it's justice. And I'm like, what are you, fucking incel Batman? Like, oh, I am the knight. Like, it's not, she didn't do anything to you. She didn't really do anything to anybody except herself. Like, yeah, you know, her crimes are the kind of things that are between her and God. All right? So what? Maybe a little of that, you know, he who is without sin shit. All right? When you're dealing with something that's literally not hurting anybody but themselves. But a guy like Arjun, and again, I'm picking on him. I like the guy. You know, he can come on here and tell me why I'm wrong and I'm a degenerate. That's fine. We can do that if he wants. But a guy like Arjun is literally mad that a girl is on OnlyFans showing her pussy hole. You know what I mean? Now, I don't think it's a good idea. I have to admit, if I was a cute 19-year-old girl and could just have money pouring the fuck in just by spreading my legs and showing my pussy hole, I might be pretty fucking tempted. You know, I mean, if I could just whip my balls out right now and y'all would make with the super chats. I mean, I need the money. I ain't gonna lie, but it's not a good idea. You know what I mean? It's not a good idea. It's not good for you. It's not good for your soul. It's not good for your future. It's just generally a bad idea. Wouldn't recommend it. All right. If by chance I have an 18-year-old girl in my fucking audience who's thinking maybe I should go on OnlyFans and show my pussy hole and get that sweet fucking bag, I'm just saying you want to think twice about that. Okay. Maybe put some more applications into some places first. That would just look. You know, you maybe give it another week. I try to find another job. That's just all I ask, right? But I can't. I see the girl on the OnlyFans showing everybody her pussy hole. I mean, my first thought is like, you know, if it's a nice pussy hole, my first thought is probably nice. You know, I am, after all, just a man, not made of stone. But then I'd be like, okay, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Probably not a good idea, sweetie. Wouldn't recommend it. But I'm not mad at her. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at her because she's not hurting me or anyone I love. Her showing her pussy hole on OnlyFans, to quote one of our founding fathers, neither picks my pocket nor breaks my arm. And I wish that we lived in a world so beautiful and so pristine and so pure that the worst thing I could possibly concern myself with is an 18-year-old girl showing her pussy hole on the OnlyFans. Like, imagine that world. Wouldn't that be a great world to live in? If that was genuinely our worst problem, if that was genuinely even in the top fucking 50 of our worst problems, wouldn't that be pretty fucking sweet? Like, I don't know, maybe like the entire leadership structure of all our institutions being run by pedophiles, maybe bunch of animals burning down our cities. Um, Maybe those are a bigger deal than a girl showing her pussy hole on the OnlyFans. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of line here. So he says Bedglov OnlyFans win. I don't know. It depends on how much money y'all willing to throw at me. I don't know. I mean, if you really want to see my fat middle-aged butthole, I mean, everything has a price. Let's be fair. I'm not made of stone. But see, all that is to say, like, I genuinely don't understand the mindset of someone that is mad at a girl for, like, maybe if you were her father or something, but just, this girl you don't know is showing her pussy hole in the OnlyFans, and you're mad at her and you want to punish her. Sounds, I mean, I might want to put her over my knee, if you know what I'm saying, but I I've never understood the animosity towards the homos, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I mean, I get a lot of it now. Bake the cake, bigot. We're gonna here's some dude dressed like him from Powerpuff Girls that's gonna fucking read story time to your kids. I get being pissed off about that. That's fucked up. But like, there are people on this side of the aisle who are genuinely mad that gay people exist. That they just exist. That just somewhere there's two dudes minding their own business, like taking each other to fucking Pound Town. The fact that that's happening somewhere fucking enrages you. I do not understand that. Somebody says, why do you think boomers/early Gen X hate video games? But boomers in particular hate video games for the same reason, interestingly enough, they hate rap music. It's because it didn't exist when they were a kid. Like, boomers hate most modern music, if it didn't. But, they might look at like modern rock or rock basically anytime after like 1980 and like, this is bad. It's not like the rock music we used to have. That was different. But rap didn't exist in any fucking shape or form back then, so they fucking hate it. Video games basically didn't exist back then. I mean, I know technically the first video games like from the fucking 50s or something, if you count like, people at fucking science stations using radar dishes to play tennis, whatever. But like, like Pong and Space Invaders and shit like that. What are you talking about? Like the early to mid 70s, something like that. The Magnavox Odyssey and all. But really, video games weren't significantly a cultural thing till at the very least the late 70s. And they were obviously well into their adulthood at the time. So it's just something. It's just boomers are fucking narcissists when you get right down to it. Okay. So the fact that these things did not exist when they were kids is why they moral fag over them so much. That's why, I mean, boomers literally tried to ban both of these things. I mean, I remember the days of congressional hearings and both Republicans and Democrats alike clutching their pearls over those uppity Negroes and their rap music and those kids with their violent video games. I remember Joseph Lieberman calling Night Trap a rape simulator. If you've ever actually seen what goes on in fucking Night Trap, it's about as tame as fucking like syndicated TV shows from that time. Like, it's about as fucking wild as like episodes of Baywatch Nights. All right, there's nothing to it, all right? But it's a rape simulator, and that's why. All right, that's why at the end of the day, the boomers moral fag so hard over video games and rap music. Um, so I mean, boomers are narcissists. Like, look at boomers with their music and all. Boomers, look, I'm getting old now, getting old. I will always have a nostalgia for music from about '97 to '02. If you want to like put that out into a wider 10-year range, probably '95 to '05. Now, do I think the music from that time is just objectively better than any music before or after it? Fuck no. I mean, a lot of it was shit when you get right down to it, right? Like, but if songs are on the radio the first time you're getting your dick sucked, you know what I mean? It tends to endear itself to you. For a lot of people, myself included, you have a lot of fond memories of your teenage and young adult years. You know what I mean? So the music of that time is going to endear itself to you. Makes sense. So I don't have any like I don't I don't have any hard time understanding why, say, my dad loves to be on the '60s station on his fucking satellite radio all the time. Barely ever gets the fuck off of it. But he and I love my dad, but he's still a boomer. Even he'll basically kind of take the position to know it was just objectively better then. A lot of '60s music's fucking dog shit, all right? A lot of it's really good. Don't get me wrong. I'll occasionally turn the fucking '60s station on when I'm flipping through channels. I like '70s music better. I think '70s music is objectively better than '60s. Um, I think '80s, by the way, is the most colossally overrated musical decade of the past 100 years. '80s music is good. Don't get me wrong, but just there's way too many people who just even people who were barely alive in the '80s were just forever culturally stuck in the fucking '80s. Metalheads in particular are the worst of it. Metalheads just time never moved on past 1990 for fucking metalheads. But anyways, um, I understand why you like that, but the idea that it's just objectively better because you can't recognize your own fucking nostalgia. Well, that's boomers at their heart. Boomers still go on about the fucking Beatles. Now, thankfully, my dad in particular actually kind of thinks the Beatles suck. But the Beatles sucked. All right, can we just come right out with it? The Beatles. Hell, fucking Paul McCartney did far objectively better music after he left the Beatles throughout the '70s and '80s. His fucking solo shit is objectively better than anything in the Beatles catalog. And the best stuff from the Beatles is essentially just sugary pop music. They were essentially the fucking Backstreet Boys or the NSYNC of their day. Just sugary boy band pop music that little girls get to fucking wet spot. Their first fucking wet spot to. That's what the fuck the Beatles were, right? I know they did a bunch of artsy stuff later on. That all just objectively was dog shit, though, just so we're clear. But even boomers will be like, even my dad will go on about, yeah, but the Beatles were like the first band like that. I'm like, I guess if you're gonna ignore all the black guys that did it first, I guess. I guess they were the first ones you were allowed to see on TV. Ah, but yeah, fuck the Beatles. Just so we're clear, fuck the Beatles. And kind of fuck '80s music too. Just so again, I don't even dislike '80s music. I don't dislike '60s music. God damn, just fucking hell, people won't let it go with the '80s music. Seems like Backstreet Boys for boomers. That's exactly what it is. And look, I have a bit of nostalgia for the fucking Backstreet Boys, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I've never owned a Backstreet Boys album, but they were on the radio a whole fucking lot. And when I'm flipping, when I put on the '90s channel or the 2000 channel, and there they are, I'm like, yeah, cool, yeah, and fucking a, you know, you know, and that, but it's not high fucking art. I'm not, you know, can you imagine like some Gen X bitch like in a fucking nursing home going on about how like New Kids on the Block were just high art? Like the way boomers do about the Beatles? It's just ridiculous. So he says, what '70s music you like? I like a lot of the classic rock from the '70s. I'm not much of a rock guy, but I do like a lot of the classic rock from the '70s. I mean, shit like fucking the Eagles, Moody Blues. Moody Blues kicks ass. Is that '70s though? Am I getting that? Maybe I'm off on that. I don't know, but I imagine it's '70s. I have a soft spot for disco, man. I don't know why everyone wants to shit on disco. Disco's fucking fun. Like, the Bee Gees are just objectively fun. All right, it's just fucking happy fucking music. Puts you in a good fucking mood. Um, but yeah, man, it's just a lot of fucking bangers from the '70s. Like that song, I'm pretty sure it's from the '70s by Looking Glass, Brandy. Kind of had a resurgence here recently because it was in Guardians of the Galaxy too. But I fucking love that song. I have since basically I was a kid and I hear it on like the oldie station. That song kicks ass. That Brandy, you're fine girl, what a good wife you'd be. Like that song's awesome. ABBA's good too, yeah. Um, so he says, I honestly have nostalgia for Nickelback because I listened to him a lot when I was younger. I don't really get the hate for Nickelback, to be honest. I wouldn't call myself a Nickelback fan, but like I fail to see how they are objectively worse than anything that's been on most rock stations the last 20 years. And you know what? That a couple of their early songs I actually genuinely like. I like that song Someday, and I like that like first major hit they had, like You Remind Me. Those are good fucking songs. Those are solid fucking songs. I don't know why we're. Uh, so he says Steve Miller Band. Yeah, I like Steve Miller Band a lot. Grateful Dead. I mean, I don't know. I'm not much of a pot smoker, so. Uh, but yeah, Steve Miller Band was pretty damn bitchin'. But yeah, '70s music is objectively better than '60s. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, it just is. Right? The Eagles alone, for fuck's sake. Somebody says '70s R&B and funk is legit. Oh yeah, hell yeah, man. Uh, it's like the Darkwing Duck theme song is an entire genre. But yeah, '70s funk is fucking legit, man. Yeah, you're not gonna get any argument from me. I mean, and there's a lot of good '60s music. Again, there is a lot of genuinely good '60s music. It's just '70s is objectively better. It just is. You know, I want to say the '90s music is really good, but in all fairness, I'm obviously very biased, particularly the late '90s. So he says the Beach Boys do everything the Beatles did better. You're damn right they did. Beach Boys genuinely good shit. So he says my dad loves the Grateful Dead. I just never got that, man. It's just they're overrated as fuck. Like I get that Jerry Garcia seemed really fucking cool. Like Jerry Garcia seemed like he'd be cool to hang out with. But like I don't want to fucking listen to. Like Willie Nelson seems cool as fuck to hang out with. That's one of the actual other stations my dad will listen to. Willie's Roadhouse on the Sirius. It's like old country, and I'm like, oh god, this is insufferable. Ah, but I mean, Willie Nelson seems cool as fuck. Like, would I love to hang out with Willie Nelson? Absolutely. But the moment he's like walks over to a guitar and like want me to sing you some of my songs, I'm like, nah, let's not go ruin a good time, Willie. Let's just let's just fucking hang out and get high. Ah. So he said, "Did I ever read the Batman fanfic where he fights Freddy Krueger?" I can't say that I did. No. So he said, some late '80s, early '90s R&B is great too. You know, I get a soft spot for like Boys to Men. It's like early '90s into mid '90s R&B. I mean, honestly though, I mean, you could use shit on my music side. One of my favorite fucking artists has always been Mariah Carey. I'm gonna tell you, fucking love Mariah Carey. Always dead. You know? And not just because, you know, when I was a young man, I desperately wanted to fuck her. I'd still fuck her. She's all old and fat now. And I still totally would. Just out of respect, if nothing else. But yeah, I always loved Mariah Carey. I generally like black music more than white music. I don't know what to tell you. They're just singing this, dancing, and folk around. Donovan Warland says he lives in the in Deadhead country. Some of the worst stuff I've ever heard. I've heard a lot. Yeah, dude. I just don't get it with the fucking Creedence Clearwater Revival is good. Yes, they are. They definitely are. So he says, "I'll defend classic country." I mean, it's better than modern country. I'll give you that. You know what though? I saw a meme the other day with you know, the big swole Doge and then the little crying Doge, but like the crying Doge was like male country singers, like male modern country singers, where it was like I like beer and trucks, and female country singers where it's like I won't hesitate to kill a man that cheats on me. Like I got a little bit of soft spot. Obviously, I like Taylor Swift, but I got a little bit of soft spot for some of the female country singers. They at least have a little bit of personality. The male ones, it's like at least for modern country, it's like they stamp them out of a fucking factory. It's unreal. It's just douchebag and a cowboy. It's like they're cloning Garth Brooks, and every clone comes out a little bit more fucked up and degenerate. That's what modern country singers are to me like. And then you get some of them, they're like Keith Urban, or was it Keith Urban, the guy that sang the "Boot Up My Ass" fucking, you know, neocon propaganda song in the 2000s? Getting back to how fucking horrifying the right was back then. What a fucking David Lynch horror show the right was back in the 2000s. But I don't know, man. I can't get into my, like, old country. There's occasional songs I can get into. And most of Johnny Cash's stuff is fucking good. But for the most part, man, I just can't with it. All right, I know I live in the redneck area, but I'm just not a redneck. Okay, I'm just not down with the rednecks at heart. You know, but I mean, Johnny Cash, some bangers. I mean, my personal favorite is "When the Man Comes Around." That is like anytime I have like a playlist, I always have that. I don't necessarily have a lot of Johnny Cash, but I always have that one. You know, if I'm like sticking a bunch of stuff on an MP3 or something. So he says, think the conspiracy theories that modern country is CIA op, like hip hop got took over in the '90s. Well, you know, I'll even give him credit. If you've ever seen Todd in the Shadows, he was a music critic. He's one of the Channel Awesome guys, and he's a huge fucking cuck and a pussy and a shithead, by the way. But he was a damn good music critic. I gotta give him credit. But there was some like Florida Georgia Line was doing like a song with Nelly or some bullshit. It was some hip hop country fusion that was just fucking god awful. But he talked about he was like hip hop and country, like rap and country have a lot in common. Like they're both originally designed to, you know, be the voice of an underclass, and both of them no longer do that because they sold out long ago. Ah, so he says Toby Keith is unintentionally funny though. I mean, I guess, but I can't remember what comedian said it, but they were talking about that Toby Keith song about "We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way," and somebody was like, no, no, no. The American way is to make you think that boot is cool and then sell it to you at an incredible markup. Ah, but yeah, I can't with country, man. I really fucking can't. It's fucking white people music. I just can't with it, dude. Ah, Ugh. The country's just fucking awful. And especially modern country. Just like I said, just one more douchebag in a cowboy hat stamped out of it. Like, I like beer and trucks. God, shut up. uh, I mean, in all fairness, a lot of the like really stupid rap that was just all about like look at my bling and shit like that, like had nothing to say anymore. Like a lot of that was fucking got old, but I mean, at least rap has a fucking beat to it. You know, at least you get a couple drinks and your girl, she'll fucking shake her ass to fucking rap. Like, what kind of toothless fucking redneck shakes her fucking ass to country? I can't imagine. This is brought to you courtesy of the Red, White, and Blues, the song. Oh, is that the We'll Put a Boot in Your Ass song by Toby Keith? Fuck Toby Keith. Fuck country music fan. Again, get back to the 2000s. Remember, like, the Dixie Chicks? And they just kind of briefly, like, said maybe the Iraq War isn't a good idea. And their fucking stupid country fans just fucking, just left, just, their sales just cratered. Uh, Nah, man, hot girls like country. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh God, no, no. Yeah, go date some girl that works on a farm, and her fucking car always smells like fucking cow shit all the time. Yeah, that's hot. That's fucking hot. That literally, and I know again from like church and all. I know some of these young country girls and shit, like won't eat spicy food. The fucking pig shit caked on their truck because they work on a farm. The one I can think of, like, oh my god, like I can't imagine dating somebody like that. I don't. I would sooner date a good old fashioned hood rat than a country girl. Ugh. Uh, so we said whatever happened to Dixie Chicks. I don't know. Near as I can remember, they fucking disappeared after they fucking, you know, dared to say maybe that Iraq War had no point. I don't remember them having to come back after that. I should do another one if I ever get my fucking internet solved or whatever the fuck's wrong with it. I don't even know if it's the internet at this point. I think just OBS just fucking eats too much shit. But if I ever figure it out, which is a big if, maybe I'll do another one of my fucking DJ streams. Just play copyrighted music till fucking YouTube shuts me down. I mean, I'm not monetized anyway, so suck a dick, YouTube. Uh, Latino's best option. I'll give you that, man. Get you, yeah, fuck this country girl shit. Get you a spicy Latina. That's a way better fucking option. Get you a girl that's gonna cook you decent food, not like biscuits and gravy or whatever other fucking disgusting slop. Country kitchen slop these fucking rednecks eat. Apparently, the Dixie Chicks are just the chicks now. Oh, I guess you can't say Dixie because not allowed to Confederate shit anymore. Just the chick. That's too generic a name. I don't know how you're gonna. How's that even? I don't think that works. Oh, but yeah, man, put together a list of songs. Play a bunch of fucking songs. I gotta say though, I don't know about taking requests. I mean, I like getting the money for taking requests, but y'all's requests I just was not feeling. But I know I have odd taste in music compared to a lot of people. Whatever. I mean, I guess if you're paying, but only one of those requests was that, like I've actually discovered new music. Let's see. The truth is, you aren't on the internet. We're just your demons talking to you when you're drunk. Well, I'm not that drunk, but I mean, to be honest, I could see that being a plausible theory. Maybe that's why you're not making with the fucking super chats. Y'all fucking, you cheap pay pigs. Where's the fucking money? Where's the money? All right, I need fucking money. I need fucking money. We need some fucking money, guys. Well, do we watch something? I don't know. Maybe we should watch something. Watch some goofy shit. Oh, Nightwave's on. I'm actually surprised I have a lot of you. I would think I'd have an overlap with Nightwave. I think a lot of you'd be watching Nightwave. Should we just stream Nightwave? Should we just watch Nightwave? And then you're getting my additional commentary? Nah, I don't want to do that. I like Mersh. I don't feel like fucking Mersh. Plus, he's bigger than me, so he has way more fans to come over here and mass report me or something. Oh, there's gotta be some shit, man. There's gotta be some shit we can watch. Oh, we could watch Sean Hannity suck Donald Trump's dick for 7 minutes. You want to do that? Sleepy Doodle says, I, a woman wanting to date an Asian man. From experience, I can say Chinese families almost always run the restaurant. You would don't Asian men have the smallest dicks? Wouldn't that be a big trade-off for you? Or he has fans in spite of himself. Well, I guess I have fans in spite of myself, in all fairness. I mean, I actively discourage people from watching. Watch Nuclear Bomb Hits Canada. Okay, that's been suggested a bunch of times, but it doesn't. Every time I looked it up, I didn't come up with anything. I didn't come up with anything but fucking. I came up with Naked News last time I tried to fucking watch that shit. So, you know what? Nobody's super chatting anything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch Hannity suck Trump's dick for 7 minutes.
I met Art serving in the U.S. Army.
I know I don't have ad blocker, but I have figured out that if you just report ads for being inappropriate, you can skip them. All right, let's go Windows Capture. Yeah, we're gonna watch Hannity suck Trump's dick here for 7 fucking minutes. So Royce pointed this out or I guess earlier today. Hannity has a fucking CIA pin on him. See, a lot of people have praised Hannity in the last couple years. Because ever since Trump, Hannity has supposedly moved away from a lot of neocon shit. But he's still Hannity, right? He's still this shitbag who had his tongue up George W. Bush's ass for 8 years. He's still that guy. I'm so glad that Tucker is pushing Hannity's shit in at Fox News. It's and trust me, Hannity is not fucking happy about it. Hannity is visibly annoyed that this guy came out of Hannity was next in line to be the king of that fucking channel, and here comes Mr. Bowtie out of fucking nowhere, and just fucking pushed his shit in.
All right, as we continue Hannity on the ground in Texas tonight, we continue with the former president.
You know what? I got a comment. I'm sorry. Can we comment on this? Do they allow comments? Can y'all see that? Can y'all see the comment? All right, there you go. For fuck's sake, Hannity, you're wearing the CIA pin. No comment. Go ahead. Add some feedback to that. They like their feedback. The Fox says.
President Donald Trump. What a great crowd. We don't have a lot of time, but let's talk about your future plans. Now, I have a funny...
Ben Garrison had a cartoon the other day of like the dominoes of the state's recounts, and it's like he's sort of implying in the cartoon like, oh, this is gonna topple Joe Biden. Like it's like the My Pillow guy, like, you know, and fucking Fox News is doing this too. Like, oh, Trump's gonna be reinstated as president come August.
Have you heard of Jesus?
Like, it's not gonna fucking happen. Okay, so J Triple X M Triple X donates $5 for that video. I guess he wants me to watch. Okay, fine, we'll watch it next. Jesus, you have been, in all fairness, you have been harping on this fucking video for like you know fucking 81 years now. So it actually at this point it better be good, because you're gonna look really bad if it sucks. I just want you to know that.
Let me ask the crowd of everybody here, would you like to see the president run again in 2024?
Would this crowd of boomers at a Fox News, at a Hannity taping, want to see Trump run again? I think that's what's known as sample bias.
You're not going to answer, but I have to ask. Where are you in the process of, let me ask you this, without giving the answer what the answer is, have you made up your mind?
Yes.
Please don't run, Trump. Come on, like, just don't. Go home. Go home, Donald. All right? Because I don't, first of all, let's assume for a minute that it is possible for you to win again. Okay? You know, I mean, you won last time and they just stole it from you and you didn't do fuck all about it. But fine, whatever. Let's assume that it is possible for you to win again in 2024, Trump. That it won't just be stolen from you. That they won't just freeze your fucking bank accounts and just destroy you. That they won't use whatever necessary. That they won't just have you fucking killed. Donald, have you actually learned your lesson? Because I don't think you did. I don't think you did. Because again, Hannity, why aren't you asking some actual questions? I get it. You like the way Trump's balls taste. Cool. But you have a job to do. You're interviewing a public figure, okay? Why don't you ask him, hey, Donald, why didn't you pardon a whole bunch of motherfuckers on the way out the door? Snowden, Assange, even that fucking Bradley Manning fucking dude in dress. Now, I get Hannity doesn't actually think you should have pardoned him, you with this gay little CIA pin. But that's an actual question that people that actually care about America should be asking this man. Why didn't you break all their toys on the way out the door? Okay, the court fucked you. I get it. They stole it from you, and then the Supreme Court fucked you. All right, fine. Now, they only did that because you spent the 4 years you were supposed to be draining for the swamp fucking around. All right? They were only able to throw you off fucking Twitter, Donald, because while every one of your followers, my fucking self included, got thrown off Twitter in the years during your presidency, you did fuck all about it. You monitored the situation. But at the very least, Donald, okay, you fucked up. I get it. You fucked up. You procrastinated. You fucked around. You didn't do what you're supposed to be doing in the 4 years you had. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, Donald. I fuck up and I procrastinate all the fucking time. I get it, buddy. But you know, I at least usually will pull them all-nighters and pull shit from the wreckage when I procrastinated too much. Why didn't you at least, on your way out the door, break their fucking toys, Donald? You could have pardoned everyone at that January 6th rally. Just cross the fucking board. You could have pardoned Assange. You could have pardoned Manning. You could have pardoned Snowden. And a laundry list of others. Whistleblowers. You could have declassified. If I was you, I would have declassified everything but the fucking launch codes. All right? Like, here's the declassified fucking medical records of Michelle Obama's penis. Here's the declassified fucking records of George W. Bush doing coke with aliens in Area 51. All of it. All of it the fuck out there. You could have put it all out there. You know, the President of the United States, it's a bit archaic in today's age, but I guess it's not because of all the text censorship. You actually have free fucking access to the mail. All federal elected officials do. You know, House members, Senate members, blah, blah, blah. So you could have just spent your last, 72 hours just putting all this, because you could declassify everything and then the media don't report it. Okay, fine. You could have just, put all this fucking declassified shit on the thumb drives. Little fucking USB thumb drives. And just mailed one to Alex Jones. Mailed one to fucking every non-establishment journalist that can even remotely be trusted. And then just 500 random fucking Americans. 1,000 random Americans. Here you go. Watch this. You could have done all that, Donald. Like I said, you fucked up. I get it, Donald. I fuck up all the time. I understand it. I'm empathetic towards being a fuck up. But you didn't spend your last couple days saying, man, I fucking screwed the pooch here, didn't I? Well, let's try and salvage what we can. You didn't at least do that. I'm not even saying you should have fucking tried to go all Emperor Palpatine. I am the Senate, because I don't think you had enough military backing to pull that off. That's the kind of move you better be fucking willing to pull off, or you better be able to pull off if you try. Now, maybe you shouldn't have encouraged your fucking followers to act a fucking fool. Because a lot of them are getting their fucking lives ruined. So no, Donald, for the love of Christ, don't fucking run. I know it's funny that he triggers the libtards and all that. I know it's kind of funny that he's talking about doing it and he's getting them all in a huff. But please, Donald, just don't. Just go home, okay? Go home, Donald. You fucked this up. Go home. You very clearly did. I guess you didn't think you'd win or something, because you very clearly were a dog chasing cars, to quote the Joker, because you didn't know what to do with one when you caught it. I'm not even saying I would have done better. I probably would have fucked up too. Probably in different ways. I probably would have overplayed my hand. But at the very least, as it's all crumbling down, on the way out the door, I would have gone scorched earth.
I think you got it right. Yeah. When you look, you know, it's funny because I've known you 25 years. And I remember when you were first talking about running, and we actually argued. Remember we'd argue about certain things in Iraq and certain wars and everything?
Oh, you mean those disastrous wars that you wholeheartedly supported, Hannity? I'm still waiting on a fucking apology for that, by the way. So is America. See, this is why I don't... To the credit of a Tucker Carlson, who used to be full fucking neocon, he's gone out there and said, I was wrong, I'm sorry. Hannity never did that. He just sort of positioned a little bit as his audience was shifting. But never really Never really, like, you could still, with his CIA pin on there, he never really walked out of the neocon camp.
And then you became president. And I remember when I supported you, I said he will govern as a conservative, and people didn't understand. You really governed as conservative as any president in the modern day.
If by that you mean got his shit pushed in, then yes, I guess he did, Sean. We're going to take a break for this. Let's see if I can find this stupid fucking video that the guy wants me to watch. I know you put the damn URL in the fucking thing, but Streamlabs doesn't let me copy and paste. Nuclear bomb hits Canada, Jesuit bukkake style. I swear if this sucks, after you spent like 18 fucking years telling me to watch it, I swear if it sucks. Okay, so this is from Gail Cord Schuler. I found the whole thing. Okay, this time I actually found it. I didn't come up with naked news or something. You've been harping on this for a while. Better be a banger. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. So he says, I hope he runs for a Florida Senate seat instead. I mean, you can't complain. I gave you shekels. Oh, I can complain. I can complain. I do what I want. All right. So here, this is from 9 years ago. Nuclear bomb hits Canada, Jesuit bukkake style. I really don't know what the fuck this is going to be.
I have a very sad video to make today. The Canadian nation has been hit with this bukkake bomb. I'm going to read a letter that I got from Brent.
A bukkake bomb? I don't. What is this? Who is this? Is this a crazy person or is this someone doing a bit?
Spiner, dated December the 21st, 2011, 1:10 a.m. My dear wife, I am writing to you from the Canadian International Hospital where I sit in quarantine, zipped inside a dreadfully squeaky white hazmat suit. These suits actually look like the space suits we used on the set of Star Trek. So at the very least, I know I look cute in them.
What is happening?
What I am writing you is a first-hand account of the horrible bombing that took place today. All of Canada has been bukkakeed. I cannot describe to you the smell. The sensations are so vivid in my mind, I have had trouble sleeping. Every time I close my eyes, the scene comes pouring back into my eyes, my ears, my nostrils, my mouth, like a horrific rape scene stuck on repeat. Minutes from hour zero, I sat in the hospital room next to Terrance Jenkins. My heart was pounding. My palms were sweating as I flattened them on the cold window, dilated pupils fixated on the brightening horizon in the distance. I prayed. I saw the bukkake bomb as it came over the sky, silent, unglamorous, like an idle daydream whisking across the imagination and disappearing among the clouds. The room seemed to stand silent, still, swelling with the melody of I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas, playing over the hospital.
Is this a bit? I don't understand what I'm watching. I really don't. Because she says stuff in there that's like I don't understand what she's doing here.
Intercom, uninterrupted by the horror dawning outside with the cold glow of the winter sun. The bomb dropped. I opened my mouth to scream, but nothing came out. The powerful blast ejaculated through the streets so fast there was no time to react. Innocent civilians had drowned in the milky depths before they could even scream. Buildings burst. The entire hospital shook under the tremendous quakes of the earth as doctors and nurses flooded into the rooms to gather everyone down into the basement. They made sure to round up all of the celebrities first. The next thing I know, I was being dragged out of the room while Terrance Jenkins still lay on the hospital bed. Leave him, they said. He will never survive the trip without his left testicle, but I wouldn't allow it.
What is
Not this
this?
man, not my friend. I whirled out of the arms of the nurses and flung myself to his bedside. I politely asked permission to touch his body, to which he responded with a reluctant, drugged out groan, then cupped his injured testicles in my own hands and hoisted his body out of the bed.
What the fuck is this? What in God's name did you send me? I don't understand if this is a bit or if she's fucking insane. Or if it's both.
I then began the arduous journey down 27 flights of stairs en route to the safety of the basement. Grasping the body of Terrance Jenkins, heaving and sweating, my legs pumped as hard and fast as they could. In no short time, the windows on the stairs exploded, and like an ocean tidal wave, the taste of salt violated my mouth and burned the back of my throat. We were being blasted with semen. I tried to run faster, but my timing couldn't have been more terrible. Just as I neared each landing, the windows at head level would burst, shouting blast after blast of semen directly into my face. I wanted to collapse, to lose my mind in the terrible nuclear bukkake storm. Had it not been for my desire to...
This is Brent Spiner's wife? Why is Brent Spiner's wife this fucking insane? Hey, Bedglov, would you circle back on Joe's ginger mouthpiece? I don't know about that. I don't know. She's not. I mean, but she is a ginger, and that is a few more points in my head. But I think I prefer Michele, our little Trump girl. Just because you know what, like, here's the other thing. The ginger girl is not objectively that bad looking. She's a very plain looking woman. She's not a bad looking woman. But Michele has a fucking attitude about her. I love. Like, it's no secret. I like, shall we say, a certain temperament in women. A certain aggressive, knows what she wants, takes what she wants temperament. And I'm not fucking kidding when I'm telling you, I think Michele is pretty fucking dumb. She strikes me as a woman that she gets on your dick and she goes for a ride until she's fucking done. Whoever sent this, fuck you. Yeah, I don't understand this. I don't understand what's going on here. I don't know if we're making it through this. I don't know if $5. I'll go 5 minutes. I'll go $1 a minute. We'll get to the 5-minute mark on this, but I think I'm tapping out after that. Because the novelty now is kind of wearing off, where it's like, okay, it's a fucking crazy person.
Terrance Jenkins and my desire to again see your sweet face, I might have died right then and there, sobbing in a pool of sperm and AIDS.
Ew.
Those Jesuits. I would not give it to them.
The Jesuits.
I was the last to arrive at the doors to the basement. I set Terrance Jenkins down on the floor while Vladimir and the doctors immediately bolted the heavy doors shut behind us. Mere seconds later came the shaking blast of ejaculate hitting the steel doors. We had made it. We were safe. I knelt to check on Terrance. To my horror, he was no longer breathing. I cried out in horror and protest and immediately began CPR. I put my mouth to his over and over, trying so desperately to infuse air into his heavily inseminated lungs, pausing to pump my palms against his manly chest. The doctors, nurses, and all the men circled the two of us. My eyes welled up with tears as I saw the doctor shake his head. Gerard.
All right, we're tapping out. We're over 5 minutes. I give you 5 minutes. It's $1 a minute. I give you $1 a minute on this. Oh, God. It's fucking gross. Okay, I just got a notification. Somebody on the Discord sent me something I want to check out. Hang on it, chat. Bear with me. Gail needs to write for Terror House. I guess. Jesus. So he says you just don't understand the lore. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I get it. Maybe that's not the best jumping on point. I don't know. Okay, so. Oh, fucking saw this earlier. So our good, totally heterosexual buddy Nick Fuentes, who's very much heterosexuality, very much heterosexuality, very much hetero. He put in Southern California, because that's a good place for right wing things. Southern California, he had a white boy summer meetup, which was a no girls allowed meetup of a bunch of dudes at the beach, but they didn't even go swimming. They just stood at the beach. Oh God, we gotta check this out. We gotta check. We gotta check in on the savior of the white race here, folks. Nick Fuentes. This is Thomas Morales. By the way, dude, you're ruining your life. I just want to say, you're fucking ruining your life taking a picture with your real fucking name on social media with Nick Fuentes. Just so you're clear. And you're doing it for a homosexual that gives fuck all about you. Just so we're clear, buddy. Just so we're clear, Thomas. So here's the very much not gay meetup. Oh, Lordy. Well, that's. Consider the white race saved. Consider the white race absolutely saved. Imagine taking Nick seriously. Imagine taking Nick Fuentes seriously. Imagine thinking that Nick Fuentes. First of all, imagine thinking Nick Fuentes is fucking heterosexual, but also that he's going to save the white race or the West or whatever other fucking thing you're on about. Yeah, he's a trad Catholic. Is that why there's more video evidence of this man on fucking dates with gay cam models than at fucking church? Is that why? Alrighty. Well, I'm not getting a bunch of super chats. Y'all pay piggies. Not making with my money. Only got a couple of super chats there, which I do appreciate, but I need more or I gotta stop. So I'm gonna stop. Fuck all y'all. Fuck you. No super chats. Fuck you. All right. So if you enjoy the content I put out, do consider supporting the show. Streamlabs.com/thebedglov, PayPal.me/thebedglov, and I'll try to remember to throw the Amazon wishlist link down below if you want to buy me some of the dumb shit that I like. That's all greatly appreciated. And donations of any amount are greatly appreciated right now. You can send a Streamlabs donation when I'm not live, and I'll see it when I am live and go ahead and read it. And yeah, I guess that's about it.